Hey, church. Welcome back to the Just Like You podcast. You're back on with Sorzy.
And MJ.
How are ya? Thanks for coming. We have a good episode here for you guys. We have a very special guest all the way from UTM. We have Enzo.
Hello, thanks for having me, guys.
Enzo, and how do you pronounce your last name?
Chua, Chua. So I think you just pronounce how you would say it normally. So
okay.
So it's actually not that hard to
Okay.
pronounce.
My bad. I wasn't sure if it was like a Chua.
I mean, you could, but I think slower is better. Chua. There.
Chua.
Okay. Cool.
Well, thanks for coming. How are you doing today, Enzo?
Pretty good. I was supposed to wake up earlier to prep a bit, but I guess I woke up a bit late again. So started preparing around like 9 for classes and also for the podcast, but feeling pretty good today.
Good.
What time do you have class today?
Good thing it's at 1, so I have enough time after this to like eat and run on the bus. So yeah.
Nice. Wow. Because you're in a pretty active house too with, I guess, Micah influences all you guys to run.
Yes. Ever since I started living with Micah, I've always been asking him to run with me. Like every time I have, like, Micah, are you free this afternoon? Micah, are you coming home early? Could we run together? And then Billy joins in. If Nathaniel's free, he joins too. And if Nick's here too, we try to run together, do things together.
That's awesome. That's great.
UTM squad's lit.
That's so awesome.
Very crazy in a good way. So yeah.
Wow.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I guess we can just kind of get right into it. We'll usually start with a good intro. So if you could just say, you already said your full name, but your region, your program, your year, what you like to do for fun.
How you serve your region.
How you serve.
Okay, so name Enzo Chua. If you want to know my full name, it's actually pretty long. I have 3 names. It's Enzo, Josh, Haven, middle name Q, last name Chua. But you can just call me Enzo. I'm from UTM, so MJ visited us. Very good region, very fun.
I can attest.
Yes. So whoever wants to visit, you can come. I serve UTM.
Enzo's house also provides sleepovers and sleeping accommodations for whoever wants to visit.
Wow.
Yes. So I just slept with Michael last time on the first floor with sleeping bags. So whoever wants to come, open house. That's what we promote here.
So
come on over.
Wow.
So
wow.
Very nice. How I serve in UTM? I started with the food team. So with Billy, we help set up the food, list down what we have, write down notes on each food and label them properly. And I also serve on the worship team. I play the cajon. So I guess playing drums before helps me a bit in playing the cajon. So that's pretty fun.
Wait, so you do play drums?
Yes, I did play drums. Wow. I never played cajon until now. So it was quite a transition, but still fun. So I'm thankful that I'm able to serve here like this. In school, I'm studying finance, so a lot more business, economics, and things that I find fun. Well, anything with Micah is pretty fun. Going to the gym, pretty fun. Doing sports, basketball, volleyball, badminton.
Nice.
I like to play with different people. Listening to music, watching anime, like, Elder Nathaniel, such an anime guy. So there's a lot to learn from him.
You call him Elder Nathaniel?
Yes. Oh, I have like a name for almost everyone in church.
Oh, yeah?
If you guys want to know, we could talk about it later. But yeah.
Give us your top 3.
Top 3. There's too many.
What's your name for Billy? Okay,
Billy's like, oh man, there's so many. But like the basic one is Mr. Le Bougie Billy, because he's very, bougie, with this spending. Very bougie, but very generous too. So, he cares a lot for everyone. Nathaniel's elder because I think he's the oldest, but he keeps telling me not by much. He's not the oldest by much, but it just stuck. So Elder Nathaniel with the long, wise hair.
I can see.
The long
Yeah,
wise hair.
so it matches. And
Mhm.
then Micah, I usually call Micah biggest boy or big boy, even though he's not that big, but he's like very strong.
I don't think he's that big.
But he's very strong and he can almost do anything you ask him to, except like juggle, which is weird. He can ride a unicycle and do crazy things, but he can't juggle. So
Mm.
I
Can
think
you
Father Shane is a
unicycle?
good one. Oh, can I? Huh. I tried, but every time like I go for two moves or like two pedals, I fall. But Micah
Mm.
says it's good enough, so mm. So yeah, I think.
It's impressive.
We we this summer spent a lot of time with Billy and Nathaniel because we are all in the missionary training together.
Yeah.
So we got to know them pretty well. Great guys. They're awesome.
Very great. So
Uh,
nice.
Sweet. Okay. Well, we can get right into our icebreaker. I feel like we
The ice is pretty broken, but
Yeah.
just to make sure, we got a great question for you
that
Okay.
I'm just gonna say.
that I will say. So, Enzo, I imagine as the distinguished gentleman that you are, you have a very nice daily routine. So our question for you today is, if you could eliminate one thing from your daily routine, what would it be and why?
Oh man. Huh. Daily routine.
How about you run us through your daily routine first?
Okay. Typical day, if I wake up on time, would be get out of bed, go to the shower, just a cold shower, just to wake me up.
Wow.
Wow.
Disciplined,
And
man.
I'm trying, but now it's really, really cold, so it kind of hurts. It's scary, but it wakes me up.
Even in the
Uh, mhm.
Wow.
I'm trying. Winter, we'll see, but for now it's still manageable.
winter, you could just lay down in the snow for a minute.
I will try that. Huh, what else? Brush my teeth.
Do you brush your teeth
Uh,
in the shower? This is a controversial topic.
Like you're not supposed to?
Yeah, some people think it's gross. I
No,
think
I
it's
do.
conserving water, personally.
It saves so much because you can brush your teeth and shampoo.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think
huh.
overdose.
I've never tried, but I could tomorrow, so I'll tell
Yeah,
you guys how it goes.
it
It might save on our water bill, so
might.
maybe. Yeah.
Whatever helps.
So yeah, whatever helps. But then for now, I do it separate. So shower, brush my teeth, head downstairs. That's why I try to wake up early so that I can do devos, and then I guess devos and pray, and then while eating breakfast, and then catch a bus, head to class, go to class, and then usually study in between if I have time. If not, I'll just take a break, and then usually come back home, cook some dinner, or if dinner's already made, do some homework,
Mm. Do
call
you
with
guys
family maybe,
together?
cook for each other. We actually don't. We brought that up one time in like our house meeting. So we
Mm.
cook for ourselves, but we're like very open to sharing. So, oh, do you want some? Yeah, you can have some. Do you have
Mm.
some leftover rice? Yeah, you can take it. So we cook for
Okay,
ourselves, but everything's like pretty much open.
nice.
So
Do you
yeah,
think are you guys all good cooks?
I think we are. Okay, so for the longest time, I'll tell you a secret. Mr. Billy over here is, very good at cooking. But after he tasted my cooking, he said, you know what? I think he said I might have better skills than him. So,
Wow.
but
Wow.
he has more, I guess he knows more recipes. I think that's what he said. So
Mm.
he knows how to cook a lot, but I guess skill wise, I'm reaching there. So that's an honor.
Wow. An honor and a privilege.
No.
That's
hmm
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got to take out one of those things from your
Mm.
daily routine. Which one are you taking out then? Brushing teeth?
No, I can't. My breath smells really bad if I don't. Uh,
Do you think you could go a morning without your cold shower?
okay, I think I can. There. I think I can. So especially when it gets colder, I think a warm shower will work, so I can remove that. Or I guess using my phone before sleeping. Like, sometimes you always check your phone before you sleep. Sometimes it becomes a routine.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
want to try to remove that just so that, less eye contact with gadgets and you can sleep better. So,
Mm.
Yeah, totally.
mhm,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
mhm,
I heard also that like your mind is the most influenced in the first hour that you're awake.
Yeah.
That's why
mhm,
they say not to use screens like or just I think especially not to go on like social media right when you wake up. And I know
mhm,
I am guilty for that sometimes. I will say.
mhm.
But yeah, interesting. Well, the ice I think is broken.
Mhm.
I think we're good. Um I think we're just ready to get right into your testimony if you are.
Okay, I
Awesome.
guess we're going right into it.
Oh,
Good.
actually, sorry, one
Oh,
more question. Um, what would you say is the most influential piece of scripture in your walk with Christ?
okay, yes. For me, it's a Bible verse my dad shared to me quite a few years ago, I think, when I was going through some like tough times or sad times. It's from Second Corinthians. Let me just check my Bible. 2 Corinthians 12, 9 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it's but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For
Mm.
the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So that was very confusing at first because you wouldn't think weakness and strength are together. They're usually opposites. And then why are you celebrating when, all of these bad things are happening? Shouldn't you be like, down, sad, angry? But it's also pretty cool that God's grace and God's mercy is like sufficient for us. And
Mhm.
it's supposed to be a good thing for us that when we go through trials, just like it says in James back in our devotion, that it's for testing, it's for character, it's for building us up. And
Mm-hmm.
so it shifts my perspective from thinking, oh, I should feel bad for myself to like, it's hard, yes, but thank you, God, for giving me this. And thank you for going through this with me. And I know we'll get through this together. So it has been really impactful for me.
Wow.
That's good.
Dang.
Cool. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, well, we can just kind of open the floor
Mhm.
and get into your testimony. And normally we do kind of more chronologic, talking about just kind of starting with family of origin, where you grew up, how you grew up, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Mhm. Okay. So family of origin, as you can see, I'm Chinese, but you know, just like MJ, I'm a Filipino brother as well.
Let's
So,
go.
woo, my grandparents, I believe, lived in Fujian in China, but then moved to the Philippines, I guess, for a better life. And
Mm.
so my sister and I grew up in the Philippines. We have more of that Filipino Chinese community culture. So I guess family first, we would meet together during Sundays. We would always gather for celebrations and everything. And I guess family was always a big thing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my family during that time didn't have a religion yet or wasn't Christian yet, we would, I guess, follow what our grandparents believed in. So I think it was Buddhism. So we would go to temples, visit relatives who passed away. And we would do that regularly. And I didn't really think about, religion or anything like that. It was only when my family decided to put me or enroll me into school. Oh, so a quick backtrack before that. I
Yeah.
did come to Canada before when I was younger. So I guess for 4 years, and that's how I got citizenship. We stayed there for a bit, with family, and then came back to the Philippines, and then that's when it was time to, okay, time to enroll you back in school. Let's see what schools are available. And so I think there were three popular schools at that time, but we settled with the school I went to, MGC New Life, Filipino Chinese Christian school. So I think that was my first encounter with Christianity, but I didn't know anything yet. And then hmm, a very funny thing happened was, okay, I got enrolled into Christian school, but didn't know much Christianity yet. But I won this award when I was in kindergarten, I believe. And my parents were like, wow, we should win this again. Let's try to win this again. Let's see if we can do it.
Because is it just like it's like a plaque or something, or is there like a monetary reward or something?
I don't think there was a monetary award, but it was a plaque, yeah, you got like a trophy kind of. So it was like, you know,
What was
my
the award?
parents, it's called the Outstanding Student Award, I believe. So it's a combination of, I guess, character, being good in class, plus, being, I guess, a good student overall. And
Mm.
my parents were like, you know
Let's
what?
go.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's try to go for it again.
Kindergarten Enzo.
Yeah, it's like, they always said, we didn't expect too much from you. We don't want to put too much pressure on you. But if ever, they decided, oh, if he shows a lot of potential, let's see, how much he can go and succeed, and let's push him a bit. And so they were like, okay, let's win this again. Let's see what we can do. One of the criteria for the award was to go to church. And so I guess that started me going to Sunday school and my parents going to church every Sunday
To win this award.
to win this award. The first reason was to,
Just going to take you?
no, I think they attended too.
Okay.
So I guess that's what started, I guess, their journey with Jesus too. It's like my school had like a church. Like my school started as a church first before it expanded to a school.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, I guess many people who attended the church were also from school. So my parents also met people there, and that's how they started church.
That's really cool.
So this school is like, it's a lot of, there's no one who's just Filipino going there.
Yeah, it's a mix. So there's Filipinos, there's Chinese, and there's like, Philippine Chinese who were born in the Philippines. So those people were my community growing up.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool, but just funny to look back at. Anyways,
Yeah.
okay. So,
You won this award.
won this
Did you-
award.
End up winning it again?
I did. I won back to back.
Wow.
So,
Would
yeah.
you say you peaked at that point?
well, I did win the award a few more times in grade school,
Wow.
but
W.
I
Chris.
think I think I peaked like early high school because that's when my parents decided, okay, you can go study on your own now. And then, so ever since that moment, my grades went like went down. But learning how to study by myself, mature, helped a lot. But then, yeah, ever since that point, I guess high school, teenager, a bit more rebellious, wasn't always the good student anymore, so didn't win the award anymore.
Wow.
That's okay. You had to give other people the opportunity to win.
That's
can't
true.
win
That's
everywhere.
true. You
You're
can't
just
win everywhere.
king.
Yeah, you gotta let other people have a chance at the award too. So
Yeah.
I think that's the true reason why.
That's why the grades drop. Like, no, I don't let other people shine.
Yeah, I didn't want to try too hard anymore. You gotta let other people try.
That's
Mhm.
awesome. And yeah, so it's grade school. And then you said high school was really kind of fundamental for your faith and
Mhm.
really helped it grow and be challenged. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Mhm. So I guess in high school, just like I told you guys, my parents decided, okay, it's your time to study on your own, time for you to mature. And so there was a lot of changes in my life. First, yeah, I didn't really study properly. So I remember in the school, we used to have like a top 10 list of honor roll students. I used to be there. And so in the first,
Oh, wait, this was actually a thing in like the Philippines because
yeah.
my cousins would tell me about that too.
Yeah. So
That's
it really
cool.
is a thing. Like, so in the hallways, you would see grade 6, top 10. And then
Wow.
I used to be there, but then grade 7, we didn't have semesters. We did by quarters. So 4 quarters, first quarter, boom. Like, it was like, oh, Enzo, where are you? Like, oh, let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm not there anymore. So,
Oh no.
so yeah, grades really dropped. I guess I was a bit more, not crazy, but wilder in school. So, uh, talked a lot,
You
made more
left.
friends. I don't think I was. I know a friend who was, but before,
And he
You're the
influenced
friend
you.
of the class
yeah,
clown. That's
they
class.
really influenced me a lot, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Bad thing because I got noisier and stuff like that. I used to be like a student who would hands on the table, listen to teacher, nod, raise your hand, and say yes, yes, I know that. Oh yeah, I would always raise my hand. But after grade 7 onwards, my good buddies influenced me a lot, and I would say I got talk more when the teacher was talking, stand up at random times, go play sports during the break, not just stay in the classroom. So I think not just on a wilder perspective, but I think I grew a lot more in life in general, doing things a normal high school kid would do, which really helped uh, grow myself in, worldly perspective. But yeah, as Jordan said, I think during that time, I also wanted to improve my faith. I
Hmm.
felt that, during these years, I've been a Christian for a while, but I hadn't really been doing stuff that a Christian would do. And our school would have these summer camps, or I think not really summer camps, retreats also. And during those times, I would learn a lot more deeper stuff about Jesus and Christianity. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to start doing something more serious with my faith. So I started with devotions, searching up online planners, like 1 year plans and stuff like that. I was like,
How
man,
old
this
were
is
you?
crazy. Uh, I'd say older high school, 15-ish, 16.
Jeez.
So kind of trying to start, doing stuff like that. I never really finished a year straight, but then I was trying to do it. And then, yeah, just trying to serve more. So, of course, serving in school through different clubs, but I started to serve in church. I used to go to the church, as you guys know, as a student for Sunday school, but now I would be helping out teaching the kids, which was really, really fun and really, really nice. I also played drums there. I also helped sing a bit, and
Dang. This guy's the
yeah,
pack.
and
That's why he got the reward.
and one more UTM secret, but I also used to dance for church as well. So
Oh,
you don't have to
we look
search me up.
for people to make a dance team at Lyft, man.
We should, but
Maybe
I
do
was
it for hunger and
The
thirst.
Jabberwockies.
oh, we could. Hunger and thirst. If you guys need any dancers, you know who to call. Just message me at liftchurch.engagespaces.com. There. But then, yeah, used to
Wow.
dance as well. And I think that's where my faith grew even more. Serving was like, I think, something in faith that I really enjoyed. And so I think service was really honed during that time. And when I wasn't serving, I always felt something was missing. So
Wow.
that's when I was like, I wanted to serve more, which was really nice. And I know it helped a lot of people as well.
That's
Um,
man.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
So then this was high school, and then you were saying kind of towards the end of high school, obviously comes the conversation of what's next, where am I going to study next?
Mhm.
And you're saying something that was really cool that you kind of mentioned it a little bit ago, but you had your Canadian citizenship,
Mhm.
which looking back now, what a blessing that is,
Mhm. Mhm.
because obviously international fees for schools are just so astronomical.
Yeah,
Um,
crazy.
can you speak to that um, time in your life and just making the decision and what you were going back and forth about?
Mhm. So I guess yeah, past the high school time, around yeah, grade 12, that's when everyone starts thinking about, okay, where am I gonna go for university? And as you guys know, I did come to Canada before and we got citizenship. So it was always at the back of our minds that, one day coming to Canada was always an option. But I never really considered it until, that it was really time to decide. I was like, yeah, I could come to Canada.
Yeah.
And, with that, I decided to apply to different universities in the Philippines and also in Canada. And, by God's grace, I was accepted to a few. One of them is UTM, where I am now.
Wow.
And so when I did get accepted, I was like, man, this is really it. It's like, it's time to make the big decision. We always thought about it, but now, having that option in front of you, it's like, it's crazy. Now you have to decide. And this was, I guess, one of the bigger decisions I had in my life. Really struggled a lot with deciding to come here or not.
Mm.
Uh, I guess during grade 12 was the time where I actually made a really solid friend group. So that's why it made it really hard to come here.
Yeah.
Because you guys remember, we had the pandemic, right, and all those stuff, and Philippines was really slow in recovering. So we were online for quite a long time. I think grade 9, 10, 11-ish. So grade 12 was the only time we were able to fully come back face to face. And I got close to a bunch of people during that time. And so it was pretty hard to decide to come here because I would be leaving that group that I just, really made and I really, loved being with them. And then I guess during that time as well, I grew really close with my family. I think the pandemic played a part as well,
Hmm.
being in close proximity with them, seeing them every day. Though, sometimes it can get annoying or sometimes, you get at each other's faces and, you get annoyed at each other. But I think my family really grew during that time. And yeah, serving a lot in church as well, I would have to give that up. And so it was a really, really hard decision overall. Took a lot of prayer, asking advice from a lot of people. And I think there was a point where I decided I wanted to go, then changed my mind to, okay, I think I want to stay. And then I guess ultimately after prayer, I think God's been telling me, like, you shouldn't waste this opportunity. Just like you guys mentioned,
Mm.
the prices for tuition for an international student is really high. It's really crazy. And God's given me this blessing to go abroad, you know, just have to pay like a fraction on what it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
And, my family being blessed with, financial capabilities to be able to send me. Not everyone can do that. So some people would, just leave everything and want to go abroad if they could have the chance, but not everyone has the opportunity. And
Hmm.
so I think that's what God really uh put into me. Like you shouldn't waste this opportunity. You have to make the most out of it. And
Mm.
I think because of that decision and coming here, I was able to grow a lot. But I guess, physically ate too much during my first year because of meal plan. But I think maturity as well, both, living alone, which was pretty tough at times. It's really hard to also call with family because of the 12-hour time difference. So the
Right.
Yeah.
best time was to call from, I guess, 9 to 12. So 9 to 12 a.m. Over there's 9 to 12 p.m., before they sleep. And sometimes people are busy, so it's hard to talk with them. And
Hmm.
then, living alone, setting up bank accounts, credit cards, where to live, where to shop, cooking by yourself. It was all like really scary at first, but I think coming here allowed me to mature even more because if I stayed back home, I think I would probably have a car to drive to school, or there might be someone driving me to school. I probably won't be opening my own bank account. I probably won't be going to the grocery, looking at cheaper prices. Those sections where the food's about to
Yeah.
expire. But if you cook it right away, then it's still good. It's still good. So those strategies and small I guess, small things in life that I wouldn't think of. But think about it now, it's just like, yeah, those small things allowed me to grow much more than if I stayed back home.
Wow.
And so looking back now, I think it was such a great decision. I mean, meeting you guys, meeting Liv was like one of the best decisions and best things that happened. Having a community is really important, especially not just in faith, but also, if you're an international student coming here, being alone is very
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
So it's like killing two birds with one stone.
Mhm.
Finding people who really care about you and finding people who really care about Jesus and help you mature and grow in faith.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah,
How did you get connected with Lyft?
okay, so I got connected to Lyft, I think through tabling. It was my fake cousin Caitlin, MJ knows, who got the card from I think Elder
So,
Nathaniel.
like a little disclaimer, Caitlin is also Filipino Chinese.
Yes,
So
yes,
she
she's also
grew like exact same way that Enzo grew up. She's Chinese, but grew up in the Philippines. You guys actually grew up together, which was crazy. Have the same
yeah.
last name, and our cousins.
That's wild.
We used to tell people, yeah, like when we came here, we're cousins, and they would believe. I mean, I mean Chinese. We came from the Philippines. Yeah, I mean, the only main difference is, like she's like in height wise, she's like very small, but she's like we're still cousins. We're still cousins. Uh, and yeah, we grew up together, and so people would believe that, which is really funny. I think some do still believe it, but I think most people have like kind of know that we're not really cousins anymore. But yeah, I think, yeah, that point also reminds me like it's such a privilege. I actually came here with two other people. I mean, Caitlin's one, but another person.
Mm.
Shout out to Gracie. Also grew up in the same community, same school. We were in the, I guess, same batch, so we graduated together. And I
Wow.
think that also helped me decide, yeah, I have some friends coming over here. I think that would really help a bit.
Mhm.
And having some relatives also. My family haven't really talked to them in a while, but it's such a blessing to meet them. And now we're really close and they treat me as family. So I just want to
Nice.
give those people a small shout out.
Wow.
Mhm.
Shout out to
Awesome.
fam. So
Yeah.
was Caitlin tabling, or you went to the lift booth with Caitlin?
So Caitlin was probably the one who was looking around for clubs and she got the thing from Nathaniel. I think the card and the gum.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and they were hosting a worship night across in one of the dorms, like in the grassy outside area. And so she
Okay.
was like, okay, you should come. And usually that's what Caitlin does. Like, I'm not really the one who's looking into different things. She's always the one, you should go here, you should go there. Then so I'll say, okay,
Over
I'll
there.
give it, yeah. So I'll give it a chance. And then, yeah, it was just I think we had stuff on the floor that we could sit on. And it was Shane, Nicole, Carol, Billy, Andrew, who was like sick. I think at that time he had like a very deep voice. And I can't remember if Michael was there. Might have been. And then it was just me, Caitlin, and a few other people, or one more person from the flow. So I guess that's where the first encounter of Liv was. And after that, Billy just reached out to me, a message. And I was like, yo, a message from Billy, my fellow Southeast Asian brother. And so I guess that reaching out really helped me as like a student who was alone, someone reaching out who was, also coming from, I guess, similar area. Billy's also international. So that really helped me, I guess, feel more calm, feel more accepted in the church. And then, so yeah, just joining weekly gatherings, having potluck after, that really helped me feel like, yeah, I'm not alone. There are people here who want to care for me and also share the same faith. So really cool.
That's so encouraging.
That's awesome.
Because I feel like half the time when like anyone is putting in like the same kind of effort that Billy did. Like we don't usually see the fruit of it, but here is like such a testament. Like you are someone who has like gotten involved just by like how you were raised and like how you wanted to be involved and serve like the community you're a part of, like, and seeing that translate into like the context of our church now is like really cool.
Mhm.
Especially because like you just came like head in, like, okay, like I'm willing to like serve.
Mhm. I have a question. So we talked last time we spoke about your story. You were talking about how in your community, because it was a mainly Christian community, sometimes like nominal, maybe Christian in name, maybe you don't know exactly how the relationship with the Lord is doing, but I remember you mentioned like there's not really a reason not to believe in your community.
Yes.
And but with that, it was less of a need for evangelism in a way.
Mhm.
And then when you came to Canada, can you tell us just about the paradigm shift that you had when you came to Canada?
Okay, really good question. So, yeah, speaking back to before, my community was just Filipino Chinese. The church and the school were together, so that those were my people. And so everyone was Christian or, Christian. And we didn't really need to have much uh talk about religion besides church and stuff like that. Going back home, meeting relatives, usually the discussion never goes into faith or religion. So yeah, it was just a topic that was, brushed off because everyone kind of had their own religion. You didn't really need to ask. But coming to Canada, that's when I realized how important faith and evangelism was. And I believe it's also a reason why my faith grew even more. There would be people coming up to me asking, "Oh, do you have a religion? What do you believe in?" And they always ask why. And so that was like, I know why.
Oh shoot.
I believe in Jesus, but like when it's time to explain it, I sometimes don't know how to say it in the right way or the most concise way.
Mhm.
So when I think about those times, I'm like, you know what? I do need to do my own research. I do need to actually know why I believe because there's people who either are curious, genuinely really want to know, or, it's a good time to share as well. And so I can't waste that opportunity, uh, not knowing what to say or saying something that's not really pointing to Jesus in the right way. So I think that's where my faith grew even more, knowing that there's people who want to know and need to know about Jesus, and they're really curious. They're just gonna ask you straight up. I wasn't used to that back home. People wouldn't really bring up the topic, but here people just go, Yo, so why do you believe in Jesus? Did this really happen? Did this really happen? Uh, why do you go here? Why do you do that?" And I realized I need to be prepared somewhat for answering these type of questions. So
Yeah.
that's how faith and research more, learning more about faith grew even more.
Wow. That's dope. What was your like first time like realizing that like if you can pinpoint a certain experience?
Hmm. I'm not sure if it's a first time, but one of the times when I used to live in the dorm in UTM for the first year, I had a roommate like inside the same room. I got the cheaper dorm. So in the room there were two bunk beds on top, two tables below. So my roommate was just one reach away. Uh, his
That's
name's
so fun.
Henry. He also goes to lift, but during that time he didn't really know much about religion. But he said, my parents are open and allowing me to test and try different religions out. And so he was asking me different questions, I guess, about devos and passages.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, I could kind of explain this, but I feel like, I'm missing something. I kind of want to explain more in a deeper way. And knowing that if I explained to him, it would allow him to grow his faith even more and learn more about Jesus because he had no background in Jesus. And I was like, yeah, I do need to know my stuff to be able to, help other people and explain to them as well.
Yeah. Like kind of like that sense of like urgency, I guess.
Mhm.
Like you had that friendship with your roommate. He's still around at Lyft.
Yeah, he's still around. Yeah.
Like you want them to like come to know Jesus as soon as
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm.
Oh, that's dope, man.
That's cool.
Kind of talking about how like you've been in a community, like a Christian community your whole life, and you're blessed with finding our church at UTM. Like how has living in proximity like been like pivotal for you, especially in this season? Because you live, like we were talking about earlier, like Billy, Micah, Nathaniel, Nick. Like how like important is that for you to like even practice like evangelism or even grow in your faith in that way, to have
Mhm.
that support?
Oh, well, I was waiting for that question. I really like that question a lot. So, yeah, I think one of my best decisions that I've made this year was to live with these guys. And
Were you
it's
questioning it
just
at first?
I wasn't questioning it, but then we did have a lot of housing problems, you know. It was hard to find a house. Uh, we weren't sure if we were going to be like 6 people or 5 people.
Hmm.
Some houses wanted family only, so those were the challenges. And so I didn't know if this plan of living together was gonna push through.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
then I guess another miracle that God's given us is, yeah, there was this house at first that we wanted, but then we couldn't get. Someone got it first. But then there was this other house that Nathaniel and Billy were looking since before that didn't want us at first because we weren't a family, but
Mm.
now was open to us living there.
Wow.
And so we were panicking a lot, but after that happened, everything else kind of went smoothly. And so we were able to finally stay in the house that we live in right now, which is like such a blessing. Clutch just before, like a few days before school started, too.
Wow.
So
Oh, perfect.
it's perfect timing. And
Yeah.
I think just living with these guys, spending time with them, if you know, they're a bit older than me. Most of them are working. Micah's working and on his second undergrad. Billy Nathaniel working. Nick's the only one who's studying with me, you know, like me. So just, I think maturing a lot, just learning how they go through their day-to-day routine, going to work, you know, 9 to 5s, just reminds me, yeah, they put a lot of work and then they still have energy to go do Living Sent, simple church,
Hmm.
evangelism. Is just crazy, but it's really inspiring to see that they still have the energy and they're willing to, you know, reach out and to build this community. And it's also been just full of, you know, laughter, crazy stuff. I mean, we're all guys, so jokes, doing different things, playing games, going out for spontaneous runs for running, but also eating
Yeah.
and, you know, different things like that. That's just been really fun, and I've been, you know, having a really great time. Uh, every time I come home, I'm not just alone, but there's always a guy that I could talk to. I could reach out, you know, ask about school or also about faith. You know, could be about devos or about something I'm struggling with. I can just open up to any one of these guys, and they're just here to talk to me and here to share what, you know, they've gone through, because all of them have gone through undergrad as well. So
Hmm.
it just really helps a lot knowing that they've gone through what I'm going through and they just really care for me a lot. So it's just been a really good time.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so encouraging.
Bro, that's lit.
That's
It's cool
so
because
good.
I think even the relationships that we have with Billy and Nathaniel doing missionary
Mhm.
training with them,
Yeah.
like one of the values we carry as the church is open home, and that's not
Mhm.
confined to just the idea of opening like a house, but it's like your life.
Mhm.
Hearing that, like that's something that they vibrantly live out with you guys is like really dope.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really, really encouraging. Wow. I love interviewing people from other regions because the stories are just like everyone's story is unique, and everyone's story is like you can see it's a testament to the Lord's faithfulness, but I can truly see that in your life.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. We will kind of wrap it up here. We usually will just kind of ask you for a prayer request so we can pray over you, and then we can kind of end off the podcast. But is there anything in this season that we can pray for you over?
I guess for now, exams are coming up, and it's almost reading week, and so I think one of my main focuses right now is just still getting into that grind mode, even though it's almost time to rest.
Yeah.
So exams and homeworks, and I guess one thing that's been on my mind is, I guess, career-wise as well. So I mean, I've switched from computer science and now I'm in finance and I'm enjoying it a lot, but I'm also not too sure what career God wants for me. So I'm open to different paths, but just want to ask God for, I guess, wisdom in that section of my life.
Sorry, one last question that I love to end on is if you could, let's say you met a student that was where you were 2 years ago, or that's a new international student, or they're coming to the school and being kind of displaced from their family physically, and it's completely new and they're overwhelmed and they're kind of in that season maybe you were in when you first came to Canada. What would you, any kind of words of wisdom that you would have for them?
Okay, so I guess a few tips I would have for them was, I think, first is to pray. Prayer is very important. I think, when those challenges arise, the best thing to do is pray first. Ask God for peace, ask God for wisdom. And He really does move in different ways. And if you just ask God, something I've been always asking God whenever I go through tough times is, God, you still really want me to be here in Canada? Sometimes it's pretty hard, but if you could you show me some ways or remind me of some ways that, shows me that, you want me to be here. And God does reveal His ways to us in many different ways. And that's just like an assuring thing that, God's plan is still for you to be here or to study here or to do this or to do that. And that just really helps a lot.
Yeah.
I think in tandem with that, it's nice to keep a notebook or notes about notes you can write down God's blessings. I think I got this from one of my good friends back home in the Philippines, who's also like a mentor to me, a bit older. He never ends the day unless he writes down how God has blessed him or worked in him in that specific day.
Well,
And I don't get to do that every single day, but just whenever a blessing comes around or something you're really thankful about, you should just note it down. Because when you do go through those tough times, sometimes you can't see at that moment, God's blessings. But if you look back, you can see how God's been working through, this time. And it's like a very encouraging thing just to look back so that you'll be able to have the strength to go forward, So, that's a really nice thing to have. And I guess one last tip is to find a community that doesn't only just share, your likes and different things you do in school, but one important thing is to have the same faith and belief as you, because through that they'll be able to strengthen you, encourage you, pray for you. And being alone is a very hard thing, but having that community allows you to gain strength from them and allow you to push forward. And you always have people to go back to and ask different questions, just open up to them, and really helps you during this tough time of being alone and new transition to university.
Yeah.
So I would say those 3 tips or what I would share to myself.
Wow.
Cool.
Wise guy.
Good
No
stuff.
wonder you got all those awards, man.
Okay, well, let's pray. pray.
I'll pray for you, Enzo.
Cool.
Thank you.
Dear God, I thank you for my brother Enzo, for all the ways that you have just reminded him of your faithfulness and your deliverance and your provision. And I thank you that, you've given us the gift of community to just be reminded of the fact that you are always good and that you give us ways that we can remind ourselves of that, whether it be writing it down or just looking back in the midst of all the things that may trouble us, God. I thank you that you hold us in the palm of your hands and you want us to remember that you are good. I thank you that Enzo has just been placed in such a vibrant community at our UTM region and is blessed with an amazing group of guys that he gets to live with and to just follow you with. I just pray over his studies in this season as midterms and exams are coming up and as deadlines are closely met. I pray that you would provide him with diligence and discipline as he studies, that he would do so efficiently and effectively and do it with urgency, as well as just the time management to consistently spend time with you too, that he would spend his days in gratitude of all that you've done and all that you've blessed him with in this opportunity that you've given him to just be here. And I pray that you would bless that obedience that came from making that decision and moving away from home and finding a new one. And God, I pray that same reminder that you will bless his obedience in all the ways that you call him to evangelize and make disciples and to live on mission. And I pray that in this process of just figuring out what career you call him to go into, God, would you give him the wisdom and discernment to make that decision and feel the direction you are calling him to go. I pray that he would lean into the community that you've blessed him with, that he would remember your faithfulness through them and let you speak through them and accept the words that you are blessing him with. And I pray that that you would continue to remind him that you have already gone before him in all that he will do and that you are always with him. And I just pray a blessing over this day as he goes to class today and preps for that he would feel so much joy in this place that you've blessed him with. In your name, Lord Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, well, thanks so much, Enzo, for coming on the pod today. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll kind of end the pod off here.
And so appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Have a
Thanks
blessed
so
one.
much. Thank you
All
guys. I
right.
had so much fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on the Just Like You podcast.
See you at church.
Bye.